welcome back to my channel. My name is Live. I'm a knitter from Norway, and today I thought we would do another podcast episode where we talk about some finished objects, WIPS, and also some planned projects, because I have a lot of planned projects. And before we get into the finished objects, if you hear any clicking and anything, that's because my boyfriend is right next to me on the computer and typing away. So if you hear any typing noises or clicky click, that's probably just him. Since we're already talking about my boyfriend, I just made him a sweater, and that's my first finished object. I finished the sweater on 3.5mm needles, and it's a beautiful red color in recycled tweed by Sandnes Garn. The sweater is called Brandon Sweater Tweed Edition, I think. It's knitted on 3.5mm needles and 3mm needles for the ribbing. Even though I'm finished with it, it's a little bit short. Like, the sleeves are perfect, but the body is a little bit short for my man. So first we're gonna try to block it like a proper block, because I just washed it and let it dry flat. So I want to try to block it again, like a proper block, because we're only missing like a few centimeters, like 3 to 5 centimeters, and then it will be perfect. So if I just block it, I think it will be the perfect length of the body as well. I think it's a European shoulder construction where you create the back, the pickup stitches for the front, and then you do a little raglan at the bottom here before you knit the entire body and the sleeves. I think it's a European shoulder. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. But I'm super happy about how it turned out, and if I will firstly try to block it, and if it's not perfect, I will have to frog the ribbing and do the ribbing again. So hopefully with a good block this will fit him perfectly. Okay, so the next finished object was a WIP in my last podcast, and it's the Harper vest by Sandnes Garn, and I'm obsessed with how this turned out. It's knitted in ballerina chunky mohair and couche by Sandnes Garn, and I've knitted it in the size medium on 5mm needles for the main part, and then 3.5mm needles for the ribbing, and the detailing on this one is just gorgeous. Like, I'm obsessed. I really like the seam at the top here. It creates a very nice line between the different areas. It has a double moss stitch at the, it's called moss stitch, I think. Not double moss. Moss stitch at the back, and then 2 different types of cabling in the front. The only thing that I messed up is the placement of the buttonholes, so I should frog back the entire front ribbing, because the front ribbing is done at once, like you pick up stitches for the entire front part, and then you knit back and forth. The only thing is that I placed one of the buttonholes really high up, so you get a very short V-neck. I wanted a longer V-neck, if that makes sense. So I should frog back this ribbing as well and do it over, but I just don't have it in me to frog anything. So for now I'm just using this without buttons, and I'm seriously considering, I think one option as well would be, because originally I wasn't a super fan of the huge buttons, so I bought some smaller buttons, but I could also just sew up the buttonholes and then just do some like invisible buttons maybe. Like, I haven't decided what to do yet, but it's a very cute piece, and I think I'm going to wear this a ton once spring come around. Right now it's still snowing here in Norway, so it's a bit cold to wear a vest. I prefer my woolly knitted sweaters as of now. The last time you saw this yarn, it was in the shape of a hat. Now it's all frogged up, and I'm calling this a whip because I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I started crocheting a teddy clutch, but I don't have any patterns that I wanted to use, and I didn't find any patterns for a crocheted clutch in a teddy yarn, as this is a very thick teddy yarn as well. So I decided to make my own pattern. So I decided to start making my own pattern, but as you probably all know, when you don't have a pattern, it can turn out, you know, horribly wrong. So I made a clutch, but it was too small to fit this frame that I bought. And this is the smallest frame that I can get my hands on in this area. So I just decided to frog back the entire bag. So now I need to make a new one. So this is a whip. I just frogged it back. So technically it's a planned project, but also it's a whip because I already did it once, you know. And the pink yarn, I want to make a smaller clutch, and for the, I have this green yarn. This is one of the yarns that I hand dyed when I was with Katrine. We have the same problem again. This is too small to fit. I don't know what I was thinking, but you can see like the vision like here, but it's too small here. But the vision is kind of good. I feel like this could be cute. And the thing about a crocheted teddy clutch is I feel like it's way more sturdy than the petite knits knitted ones, because they are kind of wobbly, and I feel like you have to have a lining for it to work. And my vision with this is to not have a lining and for it to be as sturdy as a normal crocheted bag, where you don't necessarily need a lining for it to be functional. So the next project that I'm currently working on is also with yarn from Strikkefeber, and it's this gorgeous red color. I don't think this was a whip last time. I don't think this was a whip. I think this was a project that I planned, but I've come so far. I've done the body and the ribbing for the neck, and almost done with one sleeve. So I have another sleeve left, and then the ribbing on in the front. And it's knitted in fluffy mohair from the store called Strikkefeber. It's in the color FM 165. The entire garment is knitted on 5.5 millimeter needles, and the ribbing is done on 4 millimeter needles. And I'm obsessed with this color, and I'm really hoping to get this done maybe next week, because I have some time off next week, so I will have a lot of knitting time next week. And also I'm going on a train trip across the country, 8 or 9 hours on the train, so I will have a lot of knitting time. I just wanted to show you the buttons that I'm going to use for this cardigan. I don't think I've shown it before. It's a kind of fortune cookie shape. So this is one of the projects that I'm bringing on my trip next week, and I'm really looking forward to get this done. So hopefully I will get this done ASAP. The next whip that I have is the Annie sweater by Skappel X Helene Mo, which we are doing a knit along on right now. We have a group chat on Instagram, and also you can use the hashtag Scalpel X Helene Mo Cal. If you want to join the knit along. This is how far I've gotten last. I think I casted on about a week ago, so this is a week worth of progress on this one. I've chosen to focus on the red cardigan because I really want to get it done, and this is looking so far so good. It's knitted on 6mm needles, so it's not a quick knit because it's a all over Colorwork sweater, but since it is on 6mm needles, I feel like it isn't that bad, even though it's an all over Colorwork sweater. So right now I'm just testing out the yarn for the first time as well. It's called Spinwheel, which is from the company Scalpel, and it's very, very loosely spun. You can see here. It's more woolly than I expected, but also thinner than I expected. It's a very weird combination to be knitting with, and I find it kind of hard to hit, like have a even gauge. I really have to concentrate about my tension with this yarn. But other than that, I so far like the yarn, just based on how it feels. I just have to see how it's blocking out and after washing, because right now it's a little wobbly and not as even as I would like my Colorwork to be, but I've gotten a lot of feedback that the Spinwheel yarn will block out beautifully. You just have to block it before you see how beautiful it is. Because right now I'm a little bit skeptical. It's a little wobbly, but it's not super bad. I've seen way worse Colorwork of mine. This is just, I really, really am trying to concentrate to get this even because I really want it to be beautiful. I've done the Annie sweater before, about 1 year ago, but I used another yarn. So this time around I'm using the original yarn and like the needles that the pattern calls for and everything. I'm doing everything by the book. I am doing some adjustments to the pattern just to make it perfect, like how I want it to be. But I will talk a little bit more about that in a longer project vlog that I'm doing with the sweater. I really want to go into depth about how I'm doing adjustments and every little bits and pieces to explain how I get the perfect garment for me. So I thought I would do a project vlog for this sweater. So I'm currently working on that as well. And yeah, and if you want to join the knit along, there is still time. We started around the 10th of February and we're going all the way until the 28th of April. So there is still plenty of time to join the knit along. If you want to knit anything from the Scalpel collection, you're very free. Not Scalpel collection, Scalpel X Helene Mo collection. You are very welcome to join. And we are a good group of people in the group chat, and I love seeing updates of everyone's version and how they're doing. The group chat is also very helpful if you're stuck in the pattern. There is always someone to know, to ask if you're stuck. Moving on to my planned projects, and I just have to look up what my project is called because it is the first planned project that I'm doing right now is firstly I'm doing a test knit, and I decided that this year I wasn't going to do as many test knit as I did last year because test knitting for me is a bit stressful. I always get stressed with deadlines and etc. But this is just a little bonnet scarf, so I said yes. And I'm knitting it in Önling, which is a Danish company. I can't talk. I'm knitting it in the yarn number 1 Önling, which is a combination of 75% superfine wool and 25% selected angora. It's 50 grams, 180 meters, and I chose the color 3563, which is a darker gray color, and I think this will be pretty nice for my blonde hair and brown eyes and a little yellow skin tone. I'm knitting the Bella Bonnet scarf by Ingrid Dibb, which is a Norwegian designer and girl. She posts her patterns on her website and on Ravelry, so I think you can find the patterns on both of those places, and she does translate most of her patterns to English as well, I think. And this is knitted on 4 and 3 millimeter needles if you're hitting gauge, so I have to do a little swatch later. And it's all over 2x2 rib, and it's just a cute little bonnet that is not too thick, so I think this will be perfect for like transitioning into spring this year. So I'm really excited to cast on this. So for the weekend ahead, this will be my main project. I'm filming this on a Friday, so yeah, hopefully this is just done in a couple of days, because I really want to get her feedback going, and she wanted to post the pattern in like a week, so I need to get going and try to focus as much time on that project as I possibly can. We need to talk about the hand-dyed yarn that I dyed myself. This was the first time dyeing hand-dyed yarn myself. I've never done it before, but I got a lot of help from the owner of the store called Strikkefeber, which is Katrina. She's super nice, and let me come to her diary, is that what it's called, like dyeing place, and just had lots of fun with different colors. So I have a couple of projects planned with this yarn, and then I also need to figure out what I'm doing with some of the yarns. But I firstly got to dye some fat mohair, and of course we went with a pink color. This is probably my favorite, I think. So this is a beautiful pink color. I have 300 grams, which equals to around 600 meters of this pink yarn. And I thought I would do the Klara sweater, or Klara genseren, by Strikkefeber. I think it's knitted on 10 millimeter needles, so it should be a quick knit. I think I will use this sweater a ton, like in the transitioning season into spring and summer as a jacket, because it's quite thick. You're supposed to hold this fluffy mohair with a strand of 100% wool. Peer Gynt by Sandnes Garn is the suggested yarn in the pattern, and I happen to have some pink Peer Gynt that is a bit lighter than this pink, but I think it will blend okay. I need to make a swatch and have a look at it. That's my plan for this fat mohair as of now. That can quickly change, just putting it out there. These plans are just what I want to make with this yarn today, and it can change by the time that I have you know, space to cast this on. The next color that we did is a kind of more peachy toned pink color, and I have 400 grams of this, and they're all kind of peachy, pinky toned. I'm in love. Okay. Another fun project that I can't wait to cast on with this yarn is the strawberry sweater by Lepul, and it's a oversized sweater knitted on 7 millimeter needles. The suggested yarn in the pattern is not the same as this at all, but I think I will roughly hit the same gauge with this yarn. Again, we have to do a little gauge swatch, but I think this will be perfect for that sweater. And it's looking kind of similar colors as the cover photo in the pattern. So when I saw the pattern, I immediately knew I needed to use this yarn for that pattern, of course. So that's what I'm planning to do with this yarn. I think this will be perfect for spring and summer here in Norway as well. It's a very fun, bright colors. The next yarn that we dyed was Teddy, and we already saw the dark green color, but of course we did some pink Teddy as well. This is kind of similar to the fat mohair that we just saw. I believe this was the same color, just with it's picking up different in different, you know, yarns. Or was it the other? I can't remember. But this is a gorgeous pink Teddy. I think I want to do some bags with this. I'm obsessed with teddy bags, but I want the teddy bags to be sturdy, so I think I'm going to crochet some bags with this as well, because I'm in the mood for that. And we also did a green teddy, which is so pretty. Maybe oh, this is unraveling. Maybe I'm doing some mittens and matching headband or hat with this, because I'm kind of mittens and a bag. I don't know. I haven't decided yet with this teddy, but it's super hard to decide what to cast on with all of this. I'm just like mind blown with all this yarn, and I'm just super grateful that I get to go to her and dye all this yarn. And the last thing that I have in my basket are some silk mohairs, and I think these are my favorite, but I say that with everything. But these are just so gorgeous. Like, do you see? Okay, we need to put it down. Like, are you seeing this? Are you kidding? I made this. I freaking made that. So low-key, I want to save these for my grandchildren, and they can use it to knit something beautiful. These are beautiful, but these are beautiful to look at, but I don't know what to cast on with it because they're so bright. And I am a bright colored kind of girl, but I'm also a more neutral colored kind of girl sometimes. So I think I want to tone it down, even though they are gorgeous. But I think I want to tone it down. And the thing is, the last time I knitted 2 strands of mohair, I didn't finish the project, so it's still a UFO in my basket of shame. So I'm a little traumatized by that project. So I don't want to do a 2 strands of silk mohair project, I think. But I also want another cloud blouse or cumulus blouse or something. I wanted a blouse, a light airy garment with that yarn. I just don't know what to cast on. And I also have looked at Rose Knitwear. It has a very see-through blouse, but I don't know if that would be cool with hand-dyed yarn, if the hand-dyed yarn gets to shine at all in such a loosely gauge. I don't know. I haven't decided at all, but I also have a blue yarn, silk mohair as well, which is stunning. I don't think you understand. Okay, but looking at this blue color now, I need to make a cumulus O-neck, 2 strands of mohair, or something that this yarn gets to shine, because the color is just beautiful. I can hold it double with either a light blue color or a white to just have something to match, because the mohair is kind of white still. So I could do a light blue or white mohair to go together with this. 2 strands of mohair will be pain to knit, but I think it will be worth it, because I often like to wear a 2 strands of mohair garment. I just don't like to knit it. So we have to look at it in a way that, you know, I will have a garment for the rest of my life. So it just have to be pain for a couple of weeks when I'm knitting it, and then I will have the garment for the rest of my life, you know. We just have to have that mindset going. Okay, so that was all for now. I gotta go knit and see you guys in about a month. Bye.